Hi, I'm Steve Weston. I'm the Vice-Chancellor of the University of the West of England in Bristol. I'm delighted to be providing you with some information about what life is going to look like when we all return to the university. Now, I've been at the university now for well over 20 years, and of course things are changing and adapting all the time. And the COVID-19 virus that we're now working with and living with has required us to think differently and to adapt. And that's one of the things, of course, that universities are good at doing. So when I'm thinking about what's it going to be like when you come back to the university, it is going to be different. But different doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. Different is an opportunity for us to innovate and be creative and to engage in very different ways. And I'm confident that we and you together can create a really fantastic experience for the whole university community, working together, learning together, and ensuring that we support each other through whatever else happens over the next few years with COVID-19. My focus and the focus of the entire university is to give you the opportunities that you deserve, to give you the support that you need in order to succeed, and to ensure that as we do that, we're supporting not just your academic studies, but your whole development as a human being. I'm really looking forward to welcoming you. I'm really hoping that we will get off to a fantastic start at the university, and I'm sure that in the end you will succeed. So the number one priority, of course, as we begin to engage with students and staff back on campus is health and safety and individual well-being. And I can't stress enough that behaviour and what we do for ourselves is the most important thing. So following government advice, as you've all been doing over many months now, frequency in washing your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds, keeping social distance, and then if you are feeling unwell, if you have a temperature or if you have a new cough, or if you're losing the sense of smell and taste, those are the early signs of potentially having COVID-19. So all of us taking personal responsibility is the number one priority, making sure we follow the advice. So the way in which we've then developed our thinking on the campus is, first of all, number one protection is the individual, and then communities working to support each other to deliver on those basic principles, hygiene, and making sure that we're not putting ourselves at risk or others at risk. So as we've developed our thinking, bringing people back onto campus, we've ensured that we're giving prompts and signals to remind people to keep social distance, and then we're moving staff and students around the campus in a coordinated way so that we get the flows to work to ensure that we protect individuals. If we're walking in corridors, very importantly, corridors are for walking in, not stopping in or talking in. So we're trying to encourage people to keep moving. And then when we're in the lecture, within the academic spaces, within the tutorial rooms, within the seminars, within the laboratories, what we're making sure is that we keep students together. So you become a unit, you become a community, and you work as a community. The other thing that we're working on in our timetables is to make sure that we're not bringing you in for a couple of hours every day so that you're coming onto campus all of the time. We're trying to block you so that you have a university experience that is very much planned, and that we're bringing you in for a day and then not requiring you to come in for 1 hour or 2 hours. So timetabling is essential. The final thing, of course, is that we're ensuring that you have support and advice all the way through this. So of course, when you're in face-to-face type situations in skills labs and tutorials, then there's social distance within that environment. But we're also making sure that online you're being supported as well through coaches and through people who can work with you no matter what issues you're trying to resolve. So you're never disconnected from the university. Well, the way in which the university is thinking about opening the campus is that the campus is going to be open. Every area of the university is currently being risk assessed, and we're making sure that we have protocols and that we have taken measures to add to the security and well-being of our staff and students. But we don't want to see bits of the university open and shut. What you will find when you come onto campus, in order to make sure that we flow people through, there will be ways of moving around buildings and there will be no entry signs to stop people crossing, but all of the campus is going to be open. Now, clearly, as we think about not just accommodation, student accommodation, but as we think about the social spaces, we're also going to try and add to those to make sure that we've got more space for people to be accommodated with social distancing. So my expectation is Student Union is open, our shops are open, all of our retail outlets in terms of food are open, but in addition, we're adding into that the opportunities for people to book food and then get that delivered, perhaps to a classroom that they're working in, so that we reduce down the amount of queuing and the amount of traffic across the university. One of the really great things about universities is that you meet new people and you make new friends, and many of those friends become friends for life. So we've been thinking about how do we make sure that that is supported through potentially a digital environment. So again, Block Zero is designed to try and ensure that we begin to build those friendship groups, we begin to build those teams. So you'll be put into a team within that block. And of course that doesn't prevent you from going beyond it, but it's a starting place. And if you're in student accommodation, of course you will be with other students, and that's another friendship group that you will start to develop. And as time goes on, those groups widen and broaden, both from an academic perspective, but also through the social activities that you can be enjoying and engaging with. So the clubs and societies that Student Union supports. And I know that working with Student Union, they're putting a huge amount of work in about how can they move some of that material and some of that experience online. For international students, but also potentially for other students, if the UK has to go into a local lockdown or even a national lockdown, we recognise that students will still want to engage with the university. For international students in particular, what we've been doing is developing the possibility of delaying some of our postgraduate courses until January, and there are many of our programmes now moved to January. Not all, but some. So that gives a little bit more time for international students to join the university. Where that's still not possible, then of course the programmes are also going to be developed and delivered online. So online engagement is going to be an important part of your experience, with the hope that at the point at which you can join the university, then you will be able to. And the UK visas in particular have been now able to recognise starting online and then coming to the university when it's appropriate.